Hey everyone, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Paul from MTG North. And today, Morgan, on
Well,
MTG Money.
yeah, we had some interesting, a couple of interesting questions,
Good
uh,
comments, man.
good comments on our.
Going back to our mail day video, Renato, thank you for posting. What is the liquidity of low end old school foils? I find these cards to be beautiful, but not so sure they're easy to move or movable at all. Am I missing something? And then the follow up to that from Master Richards, man, another great comment. Thank you. My guess is that it is more of a long term spec. They do mention putting in the trade binder, so it could be one of those things that they can procure value from in trade. First of all, dead nuts, S. Richards. You nailed it, man. That is exactly what we were doing.
Yeah, so what we're doing, and if you're looking for things to do, this is more like playing the lottery, right? So you're going to pick these old school foils up for fairly cheap,
Penny stocks.
pennies in the dollar, okay? And we're not talking about, oh, yeah, you pick one card like Ristic Scrying here and pick up 200 copies. Well, that's going to be an issue. Yeah, the liquidity of moving 200 copies is going to be a problem, even if it spikes.
Diversify, right?
Exactly. So here, we pick up a stack of our foils. These are the mail day foils we showed you in our last video. Go check it out in our last video. But
very low risk. Okay? There's like
all
40
low risk.
bucks.
So a few bucks here for this whole pile. And, well, there's one in here, Wirewood Elf or whatever it was. Anyways.
Yeah. Wither Seed.
So let's just say these are all $1. What do we got here? $40?
Yeah.
Okay. So we spent $40. Let's say in 2 years, Magma Vein here. I'm just going to use it because it was in the pile. Spikes to $50 in foil in Odyssey because it was its only printing.
Maybe 20, right?
So, but let's just
20 would be good for any comments.
I'm using 50 as an example here because look, so we spent $40 in this whole pile. This rises to 50. We sell it. We've made $10 profit. Not really because we had to pay for shipping and a few fees. We still made $5, say, and these all become free investments for our next spike to happen. Because you know as well as I do, new sets that come out. Old cards spike for reasons, deck building, right, like that, and cards like these where they're older foils and they were only printed not too many, they'll see a spike too, right?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, there's the chance of the spike, but I also think, and you compare to Arabian Nights on this, right?
Yes.
Is older cards that even in our very own threads here, Renato, you said that they're beautiful. Andy MLC says they're beautiful. Like, people like these cards. We know that from Times Power Remastered. They reprinted old Bardic cards for a reason.
So let's talk about this one right here.
Eventually, they're all going to go up, man. As the water level continues to rise with MTG, so do all the boats.
So we picked this up for fairly cheap, like really cheap, like a couple of bucks back in the day.
The old Hellkite.
Well, it's not a couple of bucks in 7th edition foil anymore.
This stuff, it's hard to get a price number on because there's so few available, right?
And the condition of these cards is really important. And, you know, this Hellkite's in beautiful shape. Near mint, pack fresh. No clouding, no weird issues with it. A beautiful card. But how long did that sit at a couple dollars for, right?
A long time.
A long time.
Yeah, and that's how we're comparing it to Arabian Nights.
And Paul, do you have a price on this?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's so hard to find. I think the lowest one on eBay was 200 Canadian, somewhere in there. Could be a little lower.
Do you know the original printing of this?
Do I know it personally? Yep. No.
You don't know the set?
No.
Mirage.
Oh, yeah.
This was a Mirage Dragon.
It was kind of forgettable then, and it's still forgettable now, but it's still worth money to collectors. These are collector investments we're talking about.
Okay, we picked this up cheap. Kobold Drill Sergeant from Legends. Great shape. You can see there through the light. I know it's a little bit glary, but there's no big dents or marks in the card.
It's also another collectible, right? It's not really played, I don't think.
Nope.
Maybe in some Kobold Commander deck, perhaps, but it's very fringe.
It's a Legends card, though, right? With some pretty
Which
cool
makes
artwork.
It a collector's item. Yeah, that's why we got it.
Okay, so move on to the next thing. We went on a little road trip on the weekend just to check out some more local game stores. We went to Guelph, Ontario. I'm originally from Guelph, Ontario, so I know the area. We went to a store called The Dragon, and we were looking at singles, just looking at investments. We were talking with you guys about this in our last video, maybe the video before that, was these holiday cards.
Ho, ho, ho.
This is one of my favorites, the Toy Workshop. And we found it for sale at the Dragon in Guelph, and it's in really good shape, so we picked it up.
We practice what we preach, is what we're saying.
Yep, and we picked it up, and we want to talk about This is a true collector's item because these are non-playable, so you can't play this. So we sent our top deck of halls away for grading, and I think this is going to be the next thing we send away for grading. Yeah, Paul?
Yeah, should be going in.
And
But yeah, getting this to the collectible idea, Morgan, right? We've talked about this. Playables versus collectibles is what makes Magic the Gathering pretty unique compared to, say, hockey cards or football cards, whatever, right?
which you can't play with.
You cannot play with at all.
So
that moves us right along
into these.
to these buttes.
These are ours. We pulled them from our revised collection for the video today. They are in fantastic shape.
If you're more of a player collector, man, and you want liquidity, I don't think it gets any better than dual lands.
So, Commander. These dual lands are played in Commander, which makes them
And vintage, Morgan.
and vintage and old school and old school. But what I'm saying is, they're easily saleable. Dual lands are easy to sell. Now,
Playables, right?
not an alpha Underground Sea or a beta Underground Sea. That's going to be a little harder to move than your revised Underground Sea. And I'm going to be honest, even your unlimited Underground Sea is going to be a little bit more of a chore to move and sell than your revised ones, right?
You're moving towards the collector aspect over the player aspect.
Like this bad boy here. What?
That's definitely collector aspect.
He's a collector.
We're getting to the player aspect, though, Morgan, of liquidity and dual lands. As long as they're flat and sleeve playable, don't be afraid to buy them and sell them. We've already flipped 3 or 4 this year.
Yep.
It's easy. It's quick.
Light play, moderate play, it doesn't matter as long as it's sleeve playable. Dual lands will move, and you always have your range of player base out there where people don't care. Someone will take a high play duel because they don't give a crap about putting a high play duel in their commander deck.
And they just want to play it, right?
Exactly.
I understand that. I get it.
Yep, me too. It doesn't matter. You have your duel and you got it. It doesn't matter what it costs you. It's still a dual land. Fantastic liquidity on the dual lands. I like the dual lands for moving myself.
If you are newer to MTG Finance, that is definitely where you want to start. Get a plateau or a scrub land or something like that.
Yep.
And whatever your budget allows, just slowly keep adding to it. That's kind of where we started a long time ago. Now we have a full set of revised with tons of trades, but
yeah,
it's a great entry point and it's super safe, man.
Yeah.
All of Magic would have to collapse for dual lands to collapse.
Yep, and dual lands are reserve lists, so you won't see them printed again, right?
Right. So that's kind of the point we're making today is if you're worried about liquidity, collectible items probably aren't as for you as playables are.
No, like this, not for you. Could be for you.
It's fairly playable.
You got an extra $6,000 kicking around. It's not going to hurt to pick one of these up.
And that's something we work towards, right? We didn't just up one day decide, hey, let's go drop $6,000 on an Ancestral Recall.
We actually saved up profit from our business, MTG
Doing what we talk about on channel. Hit the sub button. And, if you're serious about it, the number one thing is it takes time, right?
How long were you doing this, Paul? Just over a year?
This?
Yeah.
No, we've been busting boxes for a year, yeah. But playing standard, doing drafts, anytime you can play and still get an investment back, even if you do have a bad draft pool, you're slowly contributing to your basically pool of money.
That's right.
Cards, your
That's
investment.
Right. So you spend your $25 in your draft, or your $20 in your draft, you get 3 packs, you didn't pull anything good. Well, you build a good deck and you work hard to win that tournament. You win some prize packs.
Win the odd promo.
And that's mostly where we end up the odd time. You draft a bomb. You draft a really good, like the Slovdravi monstrosity that I drafted. But not all the times that happens, so you got to work a little bit tougher to get your prize pool. Get in your prize pool, you pull something big, away you go. You get your $25 back plus a little bit more for the business.
And you just keep doing this release after release. We've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now, solid.
And you end up buying a recall.
Yeah.
So, and that's not it. Like we have our full revised collection. We have some specialty cards. We have a whole bunch of 7th foils.
Lots of stuff, man. And that's stuff that we bought because we enjoy it. That's the other point I want to make, right? Just because we're buying old border foils, if you're not comfortable buying old border foils, don't buy them.
No.
Right? Buy what you enjoy so you can enjoy looking at them while you're waiting for time to pass and the value to go up on your investments.
Get some unlimited stuff. Get some alpha, some beta, some legends, whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever triggers your nostalgia. You know what I mean?
That's right. And don't forget, you're trying to think about what it's going to be like in the future. Not what it's like right now.
Yes.
Right now, old border foils it's still a little bit hard to move.
Yep.
If you need the money right now, it's not a good investment. Definitely stick to dual lands, right? Like if you're going to need that money for an emergency fund or something,
Yeah,
don't go with old border foils.
maybe not wise to invest it into something that's
Lower
gonna take
liquidity.
time and patience
Yeah.
to move.
But in
it
2
will.
years or 3 years or 5 years, whatever, from now, right? When old border foils keep drying up and drying up and drying up,
Yep.
that's when the liquidity will start to go up. And I guarantee you, you'll see it.
Like, look at Ristic Study from Prophecy here. This isn't Ristic Study, but it's from the same set. Just price out a Ristic Study in this set foil. You're going to be surprised.
No,
You
you
might
want
not
to
be.
the king foils, Morgan. Look at Onslaught Fetch Land foils.
Yeah, well,
the
look-
original ones.
Yeah, the original. And also...
They're way higher than I never thought they'd be. I wish I'd bought more.
All right, another quick thing here we want to talk about before we end the video. Standard. Let's talk about standard and speccing on cards with standard just for a quick second.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. But Paul did it last week. Okay, so we've been watching Demi-Lich when it first came out. It's way too good of a card to be $6.
It dropped to 6, right? And we keep an eye on our eBay and we try to stay
Yep.
current with pricing fairly steadily.
And we weren't going to sell it for $6, and we certainly weren't going to buy list
No.
it because we knew it was too good of a card to stay at that price. So what happens? Midnight Hunt comes out. Something happens. Someone uses it in a deck, and sure enough, it is.
That's speculating. All right,
Yeah.
not investing. They're two different things.
Yes, completely. There was no investment there. These were actually cards we pulled from our box breaks.
But I speculated it wouldn't go below $20,
That's right.
and I was correct. The other thing you want to check for in your bulk this week is Asika's Chariot. I know we have some buried somewhere in our bulk from Kaldheim. Standard rotation, right? It happens. New
And-
cards go through the roof. And
Oh.
as far as Cat Chariot goes, I
I
think
was
it went through the roof.
I was never expecting Cat Chariot to come above $2.
Go watch our old Kaldheim openings, man. We cut that card up so hard.
So another thing coming is things you can speculate on. Here's an easy speculation.
yeah, if you're watching this long,
They're
good
printing
call,
an
Morgan.
entire vampires set.
Yes.
Okay, so you could speculate on vampires from Midnight Hunt, from The Land of the Dusk Rose, from
Twilight Prophet.
Twilight-
is another
Twilight
good one.
Prophet's
It's
another
still
good one.
fairly affordable. But
Champion of Dusk. Is that a good one? Yeah, from It's
it was
Played.
played, yeah. I'd be careful on that one because it would be one of the lower end ones that might get cut, right?
Yeah.
If it's a great Crimson Vow card.
But you have a vampire heavy set coming next, so I mean,
Yep.
something is going to be spoiled in that set
If
that's
they
going to make
have a
yeah.
new like Edgar Markov great
Yep.
commander card, right? You're gonna see vampires, boom, just
Bing,
like
bing,
werewolves
bing,
we
bing.
saw
Yep.
in Midnight Hunt. So,
Yep.
that's a good little tip if you've watched this far.
I hope
there
you
you go,
did.
guys.
Hit that sub button because this vampire's a good tip, baby.
Coming up next, we got one more Midnight Hunt video. It is the value video where we have lots of fun and see how much money we lose on an actual box opening.
Yes, check that out. 'cause
check
you
it
can
out.
watch us get crushed.
Coming up later this week.
Literally.
Anyways, guys, hope you learned something. And of course, if you got any questions, comment. We will try to get back to you. We might even make a video about your question.
That's right.
And let us know what you think.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Peace.